After a long wait, Mike Flanagan's new The Exorcist finally has an official release date. Universal has confirmed that the movie will arrive in theaters on March 12, 2027. It was originally supposed to come out much earlier, but production delays pushed everything back. That's disappointing for fans who were expecting to see it sooner, but if the extra time helps Flanagan deliver something memorable, then the delay could end up being worth it. The movie already has plenty of attention because Scarlett Johansson and Jacoby Jupe, who recently impressed audiences with Hamnet, are leading the cast. Their exact roles are still being kept secret, so Universal is clearly trying to avoid revealing too much this early. That mystery is probably intentional because this project isn't just another horror sequel. It has been described as a completely fresh and radical new take on one of the biggest horror franchises ever made. Mike Flanagan isn't just directing this movie either. He's also writing and producing it, which is good news because his strongest projects usually come from stories he personally develops. His track record speaks for itself. Whether it was Dr. Sleep, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Haunting of Hill House, or The Life of Chuck, he has consistently shown that horror becomes much more effective when it focuses on emotional characters instead of relying on cheap jump scares. Because of that, many horror fans are hopeful that his version of The Exorcist will feel different from the disappointing direction the franchise has taken over the past several decades. The original Exorcist, released in 1973 and directed by William Friedkin, wasn't simply another scary movie. It completely changed horror cinema. The story followed a desperate mother trying to save her possessed daughter by bringing in two Catholic priests to perform an exorcism. Even today, the film still holds an incredible reputation because it mixed psychological terror, religion, emotional drama, and unforgettable performances into one complete package. The movie became both a critical and commercial phenomenon. It earned around $441 million worldwide, which was an unbelievable number for its time, and even received 10 Academy Award nominations. Horror movies rarely receive that kind of recognition, so the original set a standard that almost nobody has been able to match. That's exactly why every sequel has struggled ever since. And that's where the brutal truth begins. For over 50 years, studios have kept trying to recreate the magic of the original movie, but almost every attempt has fallen short. Some sequels had interesting ideas, others had decent performances, but none of them truly captured what made William Friedkin's masterpiece special. Instead of building genuine fear and emotional tension, a bunch of these follow-ups leaned too heavily on franchise nostalgia or repetitive possession scenes. They copied the surface elements, but completely missed the soul of the original. Universal clearly believed the property still had massive value because in 2021, the studio reportedly spent around $400 million to secure the rights for a brand new trilogy. That was an enormous investment, and naturally expectations became sky high. The first movie from that plan was The Exorcist Believer, released in 2023. It even brought back Ellen Burstyn as Chris McNeil, hoping that the return of an original character would excite longtime fans. Financially, the movie earned around $136 million worldwide, which wasn't a complete disaster, but considering the massive investment behind the franchise, those numbers were hardly enough to justify the ambitious trilogy that Universal had planned. The bigger issue wasn't even the box office. Critics weren't impressed, and many fans walked away feeling disappointed. The movie relied heavily on reminding audiences about the original instead of creating something equally unforgettable. Nostalgia can attract viewers during opening weekend, but it can't hide weak storytelling. That's a lesson Hollywood still refuses to learn because studios continue believing that recognizable franchises automatically guarantee success. They don't. After Believer failed to generate the excitement Universal wanted, the planned sequel, The Exorcist Deceiver, which was originally expected for 2025, was eventually scrapped along with the entire reboot trilogy. That decision completely changed the future of the franchise. Instead of continuing that storyline, Mike Flanagan was brought in to start a different creative direction. His movie still exists in the same universe as the original 1973 film, but it isn't a direct sequel to Believer. That distinction is important because it gives Flanagan far more creative freedom. He doesn't have to spend half the movie fixing previous mistakes or explaining confusing storylines. He can focus on telling a strong standalone horror story while respecting the franchise's legacy. At the moment, almost nothing has been revealed about the plot. Universal has kept the story completely under wraps, so all fans really know is the cast and the release date. Scarlett Johansson joined the project first, and Jacoby Jupe followed shortly afterward, although their characters remain a mystery. Flanagan has also surrounded himself with familiar collaborators. Jason Blum is producing through Blumhouse alongside David Robinson and Flanagan himself. Every single scene will be compared to the 1973 classic. Every performance will be judged against legendary actors. Every possession sequence will be measured against one of the most iconic horror characters ever put on screen. That's an impossible standard for almost any filmmaker. Even though Flanagan has already proven himself with adaptations like Dr. Sleep, where he successfully followed Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, this challenge may be even tougher. The brutal reality is that horror fans aren't forgiving. One weak trailer, one mediocre review, or one uninspired scene can completely change public opinion before the movie even reaches theaters. Social media has made that problem even worse because early reactions spread instantly, whether they're fair or not. At the same time, horror has actually been enjoying a strong comeback recently. Movies like Sinners and Weapons have shown that audiences still love original horror when filmmakers take creative risks instead of relying entirely on nostalgia. That's encouraging because it proves viewers want smart storytelling again. But the genre still needs another truly unforgettable classic. It needs the kind of movie people will still be discussing decades later instead of forgetting a week after release. That's where Flanagan's The Exorcist has an opportunity. If anyone can combine emotional storytelling with terrifying horror, it's probably him. Still, nobody should expect miracles simply because his name is attached. Even talented directors can struggle when studios place massive expectations on beloved franchises. Hollywood has repeatedly shown that famous intellectual properties don't automatically produce great movies. A recognizable title might sell tickets on opening weekend, but audiences only recommend films that actually deserve it. That's why this project feels so important. It isn't just about bringing The Exorcist back, it's about proving that legacy franchises can still evolve without disrespecting what made them legendary in the first place. For now, fans will have to wait until March 2027 before finding out whether Mike Flanagan succeeds. The cast looks promising, the creative team has experience, and the decision to separate this film from the failed reboot trilogy already feels like a smarter approach. But expectations couldn't be higher because this isn't an ordinary horror movie. It's The Exorcist. One masterpiece has cast a shadow over this franchise for more than 50 years, and a bunch of sequels have failed trying to escape it. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.